Okay, let's unpack this. Today, we're diving deep into the intense, large-scale world of Battlefield 6 Phantom Edition on PS5.
Right.
We've got this fantastic review to guide us. It actually hails the game as a triumphant return for the franchise.
Which is pretty high praise, considering the series' history.
Exactly. Calls it thrilling, visually stunning, and endlessly entertaining. So our mission, for this deep dive
Yeah.
is to really extract the most important nuggets from this source. Figure out what makes this edition stand out in like the modern shooter space.
And why it's getting that kind of buzz.
Yeah, precisely.
Yeah.
What does this mean for you, whether you're a seasoned gamer looking for the next big thing, or maybe just curious about what's pushing boundaries in games right now?
Okay, let's get into it.
So from the very first moment you boot up Phantom Edition, the review says it's clear DICE and EA wanted to really push the PS5 hardware. It highlights cutting-edge visuals and an impressive sense of scale, but I guess what's the defining thing about this visual leap? Is it just better textures, or is there something more fundamental going on?
What's fascinating here is it's not just a resolution bump, though you get that too, obviously.
Right.
The review really emphasizes how they've used the PS5's power for this unparalleled sense of environmental presence.
Environmental presence. What does that look like in practice?
We're talking super richly detailed environments. Every particle, every reflection feels, deliberate.
Okay.
Like, imagine storming across a desert, the sand shimmering under this blazing sun, or sneaking through a neon-lit city at night, huge skyscrapers reflecting explosions. It's that level of detail.
Wow.
It's the buildup of all those small things that creates this really remarkable immersion. It just pulls you right in.
That sounds incredible, but the review hints it's not just static beauty, right? Dynamic weather is back, and it says it's more dramatic than ever.
Yeah, and that's key.
So if you're, like, in the thick of a firefight, how do these weather shifts actually change things? How do they force you to adapt?
This is where visuals directly hit strategy. It's not just pretty clouds rolling in.
Uh-huh.
It's a game mechanic. We're talking huge sandstorms suddenly kicking up, cutting visibility way down, forcing close quarters fights.
Okay, so you can't snipe anymore.
Exactly. Or, like torrential rain, might mess with sound, maybe put out fires you were using for cover. The review even mentions sudden electrical storms, maybe changing cover, opening up new sight lines unexpectedly.
So the map itself is fighting back, almost.
Kind of, yeah. The battle isn't just happening on the map, it's happening with the map. Requires constant adaptation.
Right.
You might have this perfect sniper nest plan, then a storm rolls in and poof, your plan's gone. It's frantic, it feels, alive, and sometimes pretty unforgiving.
That's quite the wrench in the works. And it sounds like it's not just what you see. The review also praises superb sound design and, importantly, the PS5 DualSense controller integration.
Yes, that's a big piece too.
So beyond the visuals, how does the game kind of wrap around your other senses? How does it make you feel the chaos?
It's all about that tactile and auditory feedback loop.
Yeah.
Makes the connection deeper.
Okay.
The gunplay, for instance, feels incredibly tight, super responsive. Each weapon apparently has a distinct weight, a distinct recoil pattern.
Can you feel that in the triggers?
Yeah, through the adaptive triggers. And the sound. You hear this spine-tingling clarity in firefights, the punch, the crackle of every shot echoing. Positional audio is absolutely critical.
Makes sense.
And the DualSense haptics take it further. Every reload, every explosion, every vehicle getting hit, it resonates with this extra intensity.
Can you give an example?
Imagine feeling the trigger resist as you fire a heavy machine gun, or that specific rumble when a tank shell lands nearby. It's designed to just pull you deeper and make you feel every bit of the battle, not just watch it.
Okay, that sounds intensely immersive.
Shifting focus a bit from the pure sensory stuff, the Phantom Edition also introduces several notable tweaks to the gameplay formula, aiming for something more refined, more strategic.
Right, the core gameplay loop.
Exactly, Specialist Return, which, has been a talking point before.
A bit controversial sometimes.
But this time, the reviews' takeaway is they feel more integrated into the squad-based structure.
Integrated how?
Well, it raises that important question. How do these changes boost teamwork and player choice without messing up the core feel or that traditional class system veterans expect?
That is the crucial balance, isn't it, for a series built on those classes?
Yeah.
So it sounds like the aim was to complement, not overshadow, like giving squads more flexible compositions but still making teamwork vital, adding layers of utility.
That seems to be the idea. More choice, but still focused on the squad. And it's not just the specialists adding new tools. There's this whole new tactical gadget system mentioned.
Yes. Tactical gadgets. How does the review say these change things up strategically? Is it just more toys, or does it fundamentally alter approaches?
It seems to really encourage emergent strategies. We're talking deployable drones for scouting,
Okay, standard enough.
portable barricades for quick cover during an assault,
Interesting.
and even hacking tools that apparently can genuinely swing a match if you use them smartly.
Hacking. Okay, now that sounds like it could really change dynamics.
Right. These aren't just minor things. They give players new ways to interact with the environment, with each other.
So you could use a drone to spot enemies for your squad push.
Exactly. Or quickly throw up a barricade to hold a key spot where your team moves up. It just broadens the tactical playbook for individual players within that larger team structure, fosters creative thinking in the heat of battle.
Okay, Link, talk about the heart of multiplayer, the maps. Battlefield means massive scale, right?
Absolutely.
But sometimes, in older games, that scale meant long, empty runs or annoying travel times.
Yeah, the running simulator critique.
Exactly. This review highlights reimagined multiplayer maps and calls them thoughtfully designed. What does thoughtful design actually look like here? What are they doing differently?
The big emphasis seems to be on smart scale. So, yes, the maps are massive, but they're designed to prevent that empty feeling.
How so?
Objectives are placed to funnel action naturally. You get these dynamic engagement zones popping up, but without constant bottlenecks everywhere.
So you're always kind of near the action, even on a huge map.
That's the goal, it seems. And what's really interesting is the strategic layering. Different map areas support different playstyles, tight urban bits, open vehicle areas.
Okay.
It makes the maps feel less like just backdrops and more like active parts of the fight.
And there's another layer mentioned, verticality. Apparently embraced more than ever. Grappling hooks, zip lines, destructible structure.
Oh yeah, big time.
That must change movement and tactics quite a bit. I can imagine some pretty wild flanks.
Totally. It opens up opportunities for surprising attacks, sudden momentum shifts.
Like zipping up a building to take out campers?
Exactly. Or grappling to a higher spot for an unexpected angle. And the destruction adds to it, blowing open new paths, closing off old ones.
So you really need to learn the terrain.
Yeah, active vertical play rewards players who really learn the map and use its features. It's not just about covering ground, it's about controlling it, using its dynamic bits.
And you can't talk battlefield combat without talking vehicles. The review says vehicle combat shines, offering thrilling power plays.
Which is always a core part of the experience.
But that age-old challenge,
Yeah,
balancing infantry and vehicles, nobody likes getting farmed by an untouchable tank, right?
Feeling useless in a jet, yeah.
The review notes the balancing feels much improved this time around. How did they manage that? Any specific mechanics mentioned?
It seems like it comes down to smarter counterplay options for infantry and map design that gives foot soldiers more cover and flanking routes.
Okay.
So whether you're in a tank, a jet, a chopper,
Yeah.
your impact feels significant, but maybe not completely overwhelming like it sometimes could be.
Team coordination's still key, presumably.
Definitely rewarded, yeah.
Yeah.
Helps take down strong vehicles. But a key point made is that smart, resourceful lone infantry players can still make an impact.
So you're not totally helpless on your own.
Right. You can still find ways to outmaneuver or even take down heavy armor if you're clever. Makes encounters feel winnable either way with enough skill and tactical thinking.
Good to hear.
And while multiplayer is clearly the huge focus, the main appeal, the Phantom Edition isn't only that. The campaign gets a mention too.
Ah, the single player. How's that looking?
Described as cinematic and engaging, apparently weaves a story mixing futuristic military tech with some grounded human drama.
Okay, offers a narrative backdrop.
Yes, supports the world building.
The review does suggest it might not be super lengthy, maybe not hitting the emotional peaks of the absolute best single-player shooters,
Fair enough.
but it's presented as a solid effort. Complements the multiplayer focus well, gives you a cohesive story if you want that immersion. So, putting it all together, the overall verdict sounds overwhelmingly positive. A triumphant return. One of the best-looking shooters on PS5.
Pretty glowing, yeah.
Visually, a showcase lighting, character models, the destructible environments making the battlefield feel alive, reactive.
And crucially, performance holds up.
Apparently so. Steady, smooth frame rates, even when things get absolutely chaotic with dozens of players, explosions, vehicles all going off.
That's impressive for this scale.
But, the review does acknowledge no game's perfect, mentions occasional bugs, minor cripping, odd vehicle physics sometimes.
The usual suspects for a big launch.
Seems like it. And maybe some room for fine-tuning balance, especially with those more exotic gadgets. Given the sheer ambition and scale, does the review suggest these are just like launch wrinkles? Or maybe hint at deeper issues managing such a complex live game?
That's a fair point. The review seems to frame them as pretty minor imperfections, almost expected with something this huge and ambitious. They're presented more as things that can, and probably will, be ironed out with patches, not fundamental flaws.
Right.
The consistent performance and the overall polish, even with that chaos, are really highlighted as the main experience. It suggests these minor things are more a sign of the incredible complexity they built, rather than, a rushed or broken game.
So they don't really drag down the core experience much.
Doesn't sound like it, not significantly anyway. It's still presented as an incredibly polished and immersive ride overall. So ultimately, yeah, what we've unpacked today shows Battlefield 6 Phantom Edition really standing tall.
Seems that way.
It's a proper technical showcase for the PS5. It combines that refined gameplay, those intelligently designed maps using verticality and smart scale, and that deep sensory experience pulling you into the action. It seems to balance what series veterans love with bold new stuff, like the better integrated specialists and that tactical gadget system.
Positions it as a real leader, then.
Yeah, this deep dive definitely paints it as a leader in the modern shooter scene, delivering on that promise of huge-scale warfare, but with remarkable immersion.
This whole deep dive into Battlefield 6 Phantom Edition really paints a vivid picture, a game pushing boundaries, graphically and mechanically.
For sure.
It kind of makes you wonder, as tech keeps marching on, as developers get even better with this next-gen hardware, what new kinds of immersive interactive storytelling are we going to see next in our favorite games?
That's the exciting question, isn't it?
Yeah. Like, what new ways will these virtual worlds challenge us to adapt, to think strategically? How much further can they blur those lines between the player and the actual battlefield?